Oh yeah? Well, why don't you teach me? Fine, I will! God.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Albion tutorial, and today we are going to talk about moving throughout the world of Albion. In our last two videos, we completed a series of quests that helped us begin our adventure, and now the game is not holding our hands. We're done. There's not any more quests from these gentlemen to guide us. And so what we want to discuss is how exactly do I get from zone to zone? We've been running. Everybody runs. You've been doing that as soon as we stepped off of that boat. We've been running around. Now, one of the important things to know about running is if you're carrying too much, you're going to run slowly. Bear that in mind. I'm going to demonstrate this fact on my other character, seeing that I don't have a lot on this one, and so I'll be right back. Alright, we're back. On this character, you're going to see that I'm carrying 102% of my carrying weight, so I am overburdened. You're going to get a message that says you're slightly overweight and you move slower. So I'm just walking, you move a little slower. The more you have, the much more slower you move. Okay, that's no good. You want to avoid that. One of the ways you can avoid overburdening yourself is by using your mount, and the mount is the second mode of transportation in Albion. The mount gives you movement speed bonuses, and you're going to see that there's also a little yellow health bar there, which is the mount's health. Yes, you can get dismounted, so it's very important not to get your horse killed while you're running through people. There are several different types of mounts, and so you want to get a feel for what each mount does for your character. You're going to want to view the tooltip. The tooltip tells you your movement speed bonuses, your gallop speeds, your loads that you can carry, and the amount of health points that that horse has. The gallop is one of the ways that the mount moves faster, and it does that automatically just by running in a direction. But the gallop only works so long as you have not taken damage. So if you take damage, you're going to lose that gallop bonus, and that's no good, no bueno. But let's talk about when you're in combat. How does movement change then? Okay, well, in combat you have several options available to you, and you can use them even outside of combat, which I did not do in our previous video. But in Albion, you can sprint. Yeah. If you equip a pair of shoes, which we have done since our objective in the last video was to craft ourselves a full set of armor, the shoes have an ability to sprint. Every shoe has this. All shoes. They will always have refreshing sprint. In our Destiny board, we can go to plate armor, we can go to the plate shoes, and you can see that every item beyond, they all have sprint. All of them. Let's go to the mage shoes. Here's mage armor, here's mage shoes. Sprint, sprint, sprint. That's good. So no matter what shoes we have, we're going to be able to run around faster. But there are different sprints. Yeah, there are different abilities. This one is called energetic sprint. This one regenerates 9 energy every second for 3 seconds. Okay, so energy is the resource you use for your combat abilities. I'll cover combat in depth. Don't worry, there's plenty of videos to watch. The plate shoes, they have the rejuvenating sprint. So you're going to recover 35 health every second for 3 seconds. That's good if you're trying to escape enemies. Your health is low. Okay, you may not be running away, but you can also use that to heal yourself. And then finally, there's the leather shoes. And the leather shoes, they all have the refreshing sprint, which reduces your cooldown slightly. So keep in mind that even though we're using this for movement, there are other bonuses that you may receive from it. Now there are other movement abilities too. This one has Mark of Sacrifice. If you read, not a movement ability. So if you take that one, you're not going to have the ability to move very fast. This one does come equipped with Run. They don't reduce our cooldown, it just increases our movement speed. For a much longer value. It's not as much, they're only moving 60% faster, as opposed to the 100%. That 49% faster on these shoes, actually. It looks like the mage shoes have 100% additional sprint time. Yeah, you move 100% faster for 3 seconds. Now their run is the same as the other shoes. I'll cover the other abilities down here in another video. We're going to focus on the movement ones right now. Now, there are other ones. Some of them can let you teleport, swap positions. That's a movement skill that you may be able to use. Maybe your ally's in front of you and you want to be in front, swap positions. These shoes, this guy lets you march, increases your resistances and all kinds of fun stuff, increasing everybody's movement speed. Oh, just all kinds of different shoes that you can wear to improve your character. You can jump, you can teleport, and you can run. So as you unlock newer and different shoes, make sure you take a look at this Destiny board and you read about the ones that you want to wear. They're all valuable. You may want to wear a different pair depending on the situation. If you're in combat and you want to dodge, wear the dodge shoes. If you're, again, if you're in combat, you want to blink, use the teleportation shoes. Pick the shoes that best fit you. I don't recommend maximizing a bunch of different shoes all at once. Again, just like in my first video, stick to one thing. Stick with it. Stick with it. Stick with it. Okay. Let's talk about movement. Stick with movement. Let's go back. So now, this is what happens when we're in combat. We have the movement skills. You can hit that F key. We can sprint. We can run. We can blink. We can dodge. On the mount now, when you're in combat on the mount, you still retain the bonus movement speed from the mount. The mounts always move faster than the players, and that's just a given. It's a horse. I would hope no man could outrun a horse. But the galloping bonus, you can see that there's the lines behind me, and I'm moving much faster. That bonus is lost if we are hit. There's a wolf down here, and there it is. And if we get attacked, you lose that movement speed gallop bonus. Okay? And your mount takes damage. If we continue to take damage, you're going to get knocked off of your mount. So, higher level mounts have more health, you have less of a chance of getting knocked off of your horse. Be careful about what you're running for. One wolf isn't going to... You can see he's taken quite a bit of time to knock me off my horse. My horse is stomping him to death. Trample, 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 trample. Alright, once you're knocked off of your horse, then you revert back to moving at your basic movement speed. And if you're carrying a lot of items, thankfully I'm not, but if I were carrying a lot of items, you would know that I'm not going to be moving that much faster. Once we're off our horse though, you can engage in combat again, and you can start to destroy the enemy. That's before you take it down, quickly deal with that threat. Let's get back on our horse. Mounts have a special ability. The ability is that you can retain the extra carrying weight as long as you're near the mount. So as long as you're within this circle, this mount, my journeyman's horse, is going to allow me to carry 239 kilograms more weight, which is great. While you're out farming in the world, if you need to get this tree, you can dismount, farm, and gather, and you're going to be able to carry a lot more, which is exactly what you want anyway. You know, you're not going to want to carry 3 logs back to town each load. No, you're going to want to make a nice long run. So you're going to keep your mount with you, stay within that circle. When you run outside of that circle, the mount disappears, and you're going to have to resummon the mount. You also lose that movement carrying bonus. Finally, while you are within the circle, it's best not to resummon your mount. Summoning the mount takes longer than it takes to remount the mount, so you can actually just get back up on the horse. You can do that in combat as well. If you were fighting this fox, for example, and I wanted to escape, I can get back up on my horse and we can run away. That's an excellent combat choice. If you're out ganking somebody and you see that they're trying to get back on their mount, you may try to kill the horse first, or you may try to just go straight for the player. Now, how do you go about unlocking these different mounts? Well, the mounts are usable based off of your level in adventuring up here. That's straight on the Destiny board. It's the line that goes up. The higher your adventurer skill, the more mounts you can use, and they all have bigger and better bonuses. You can see that just going from the tier 3 journeyman's riding horse, where we only have 157 kilograms, going to the tier 4, you're getting about 75 more kilograms of weight, which is great. They're also moving 5% faster. It has 100 extra health. There's just tons of bonuses with having higher level horses. Of course, higher level horses are more expensive, so you aren't going to want to sometimes go through PvP zones with the higher level horse if you're afraid of losing it. Use a cheaper horse, just take the movement speed loss. It's not worth losing your prized possessions. Now let's talk about the different mounts that are available to you, because it's not just horses. It's not just horses in Albion Online. No. You're going to see a lot of people also riding on oxes. Oxes are a mount that allows you to carry so much more. Oh, but Cheesecan, Mr. Teacher, how much more? Oh, geez. Well, this level 3 Journeyman's Transport Ox carries 1,500 kilograms. The horse carries 157. Yeah, that's about 10 times more carrying capacity on the ox as opposed to the horse. So, it's just astronomical at how much you can carry. Look, 10 times more weight on that ox. 10 times more weight. So the oxes carry so much more than the horses. 10 times more. But they also move at half the speed. This Transport Ox gives you a 35% movement speed bonus. Your Novice's Mule, that tier 2 mount that you got for free, moves at a similar speed to this Transport Ox, which is 3 times higher in tier. So that's the loss you're taking for using the Ox. Yes, you can carry more, but you're going to be moving slower. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's a bad thing in PvP, though. Okay, let me tell you. In PvP, later on in Albion, you're going to come across zones which will allow other players to attack you. You do not want to be the guy stuck on this loot pinata. Okay? That's what you are on this thing. You are a loot pinata. As soon as somebody attacks you and knocks you off of this thing, you're dropping all of your gear. You're dropping all that loot. You're dropping all your hard work, and your tears are going to start streaming from your face because you're dead and you don't have anything because you were the guy that decided to play birthday party for all the PvP gankers. Congratulations, you made their day happier. So I guess you could pat yourself on the back for that because, you made somebody else's day a lot better, put a smile on their face. But your face, you ain't going to be smiling. So don't be a loot pinata. Don't take this stuff into high-end PvP zones. Just don't do it. Now, let's get back to a happier thought. Let's talk about a happier thing. You will use this a lot in the lower levels. If you're one of those people that wants to gather, get an ox. You're gonna be so happy carrying 20,000 trees. That's not an exact number, but it's gonna be amazing carrying a lot of that stuff from one town to the next and farming up all that material for you to use. If you have friends, which, you're gonna have friends in Albion, you're gonna need to have a guild eventually at some point. And that's the point. That's the purpose of this game. They can defend you. They can make sure that your sweet, sweet loot pinata makes it across those dangerous areas. And when you successfully do that, you're going to love all the silver you're going to make. You're going to love the feeling of making it through and successfully getting from one town to the next. It's going to be a great feeling. So, we've talked about sprinting. We've talked about using the skills on shoes. We've discussed the horses, oxes. Let's talk about specialty mounts. Yeah, let's talk about specialty mounts. There are mounts outside of just horses and just oxes. This one's a stag. Okay, read the tooltip. Again, it just does a little bit. It's a little bit different. It gives you twice the carrying capacity of a horse. This one carries 465 kilograms, and it moves slightly faster when it's galloping. The horse moves at the same speed. You get 50% movement bonus, but the stag does sprint a little bit faster. So while you're out of combat, that's going to help a lot. When you're in combat, it has less health, so that's no bueno. We don't like that. At higher ranks, you're going to notice that there are armored horses. If you're a strong PvPer, you're going to want the armored horses. They are a fantastic addition because it's going to make you so hard to be dismounted. Oxes have a lot of armor and a lot of health, but because you move so slowly, you're a very easy target. But the horses move very quickly, and they are going to be able to sprint through several enemies at once. don't run into like six guys. I mean, you're not going to be able to run through 6 guys, but if you're taking on 2-3 men, you can definitely make it through and just be a little bit happier as a result. Dire Wolves, some other specialty mounts. You can see that this is a fast mount. It tells you a little description there. Okay. The Dire Wolves, as well as there's a Jaguar up here. Not the Dire Boar. I want the Jaguar. There's a cat. Where'd the cat go? I just had the cat. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, here he is. The cat. Okay. These different mounts, they have these nice big movement speeds, and they're very, very quick, but they also are not providing you with a carrying bonus. Okay, so that's the trade-off. Read your mount tooltips, find the one that fit you the best, use the one that you want. They all are for different situations. You don't have to train a skill. Once you're at this level, you can use any of these mounts. If you have the silver for it, buy all 3 of them. Use the one that you want. Maybe have an ox and a horse in your inventory at one time, because you can change the one that you're using at any given time. So maybe you are carrying a whole bunch of equipment and you do need that ox, and you're in a safe zone, so you can switch over to your ox. You're nice and safe, you can carry all that equipment, but then you're going to be passing through that nice dangerous zone. You may want to switch to the horse. Frankly, I don't promote that idea, because horses carry less, and so you're only going to be carrying as much as the horse can, because you're going to want to sprint across those zones. You're going to want that bonus movement speed, and you move slower, even on a horse. I can't show you that. I can't show you how much slower you move, but even on a horse, you move slower if you're overburdened. So don't be overburdened while moving about. So the last thing to cover with movement, there are these teleportation portals. They take you to specific areas, so you can use the portals. This one takes you to the expedition for 1 player, their solo expedition. It's one of the best ways to make silver, just logging in every day, doing that real quick, earning yourself some additional silver. So this teleports you directly to the expedition. And then there are also the boats, which we did use in order to get with our imaginary friends. The boats, I want to reiterate, they cost gold if you have items. So the more you're carrying, the more gold it's gonna, the more silver it's gonna take to move about the game world using the boat. So I don't recommend spending your hard-earned silver moving about. You're going to stick with one area. You're going to want to play through it, and then you can start worrying about transporting goods. So that pretty much wraps up the abilities for the mounts, and mounted combat, foot combat, and the bonuses that you receive from all the mounts. So until the next video, you guys play lots and study hard.